This is not going to be a flattering video. I have a terrible cold, I'm a little bit hungover, and I'm doing the stereotypical trans man thing of growing out my chin hairs to see what they're all about. But hey, fuck it. I'm stuck inside today, so I wanted to make a video to kind of talk about like the big picture of transition and how I or other people go about reflecting on transition. In the trans community, especially on YouTube, it's very much about like, at least for the first year, like month by month, even week by week. And also the kind of institutional hurdles that we have to jump. So changing your name, booking doctor's appointments, getting surgeries. Obviously everyone's checklist for that looks different, but you do have that checklist. And I guess there's this sense that, you know, once you get done with all this stuff, then stuff will be easier, or, you know. I've just been thinking a lot lately about how I am measuring my transition or not. And I guess what ways I can be healthier about that. I am thinking about this because the year mark is coming up in a few weeks. And I found myself YouTubing not, you know, next month's X on T, but like people, you know, looking at people who are 2 years on or 3 years on, kind of trying to get a glimpse of what my future will look like. Will my voice drop anymore? Because it hasn't changed so much, at least to me. Should I go on a different kind of testosterone? Will this little blossom flower into a beard? I don't even really want a beard. It's just like, you know, can it happen? Will I look like when I'm able to kind of work out more after top surgery and, you know, take better care of my body? With those kind of thoughts in mind, I've kind of been like, all right, well, let's like step back and look at this past year and just kind of see how that's been going. And I guess the thing is, like, despite the fact that I'm a writer and very much big on self-reflection and diary keeping, I haven't really been able to articulate how my transition is going, or kind of step back and look at the big picture. I think because I've been so caught up in the busyness of the process, in the checklist, you know. And in part, you know, that's a survival thing. Like, have to get my name changed, have to have a debit card and an ID with my name on it. Have to go to the doctors, have to make money to pay for doctor's appointments, have to do that to sort of stave off the family stuff that I've been getting, and you know, kind of the trouble I've had and opposition I've had with my transition. But that hasn't really given me a lot of space to think about how I'm growing and changing besides the physical changes. Thinking about it, I think transition has taught me a couple of things. The first is, like, I've noticed a significant jump in my confidence. I think I was a fairly confident person before, but I'm a little bit more, I don't give a fuck, and more willing to sort of fight and push and advocate for not just myself, but for others. This is incredibly corny, but I actually think in a lot of ways my transition has made me less selfish, and maybe a little bit kinder. Even little things like, you know, making sure, you know, a drunk woman gets home from a club, or helping somebody on the street carry a heavy bag. Like, it was stuff, you know, I would have done, but maybe not gone out of my way to do. And now I am. And I don't know where that impulse is coming from. I think part of it is, you know, I have the capacity to do those things, and maybe a little more responsibility to do those things as somebody who, you know, is perceived as a cis man most of the time. But I like that. I like that about myself now. I like that confidence and that kindness. In terms of other stuff, I guess it's kind of hard for me to see a clear before and after. I'm maybe a little bit dissatisfied with how drastic my physical change has been. I feel like I don't look hugely different from how I did. I can tell my face has changed. I can tell I put on a little bit of muscle mass and weight, but because I haven't really been working out or working at it, like, it's not as dramatic as it could have been. My voice hasn't changed hugely. You know, if I am working at it, I can drop it down lower, and I'm learning how to use it in singing, which is really nice. So I'm kind of relearning my relationship to my voice, but maybe not how I pictured it. I guess I'm still a little baffled by which boxes got checked that suddenly mean that I pass in most spaces. Still struggling a little bit with gay male spaces, but starting to get there a little bit more. I was looking back at like some really good, like very posed right angle kind of selfies that I took last year before I started T, and I was like, I look exactly the same. And I can tell from like, less flattering pictures that I have changed. And I can tell that my voice has changed. But I don't know what is reading as male to people. I don't feel like my behavior has changed that much. I'm definitely more aware of like, trying to avoid like homophobic harassment. So I, maybe tone down some of my outfits and stuff a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know kind of what switch got flipped. And that's something for me to, I guess, think about. So I guess this video is kind of to say, to ask the few people who watch this channel, kind of what you do to mark your transition, what's important for you, and is there kind of an endpoint or a aha moment that you had? I think I've had little ones, and I've had some important milestones that I never thought I'd get to, but I guess I haven't had this moment of relief or, relaxation. I don't know if it's because, that bar is always going to be changing as you transition. That's a question that I want to throw out there and keep in mind for myself. So, see you at some point.